The new patch 10.2.7 is called the Dark Heart, aka the finale of the Xal'Atath prophecy. The Dark Heart awaits the taking, which will then lead us into the awakening. Almost certainly, we go to Pandaria in this new patch with this new time running feature and the Harbinger quest. However, it is so much crazier than that. The new Pandaria book released 2 months ago hinted that the mantid are back to worshipping SHAARJ after Mists of Pandaria, where, you know, his Dark Heart was, and Khaz'Algar, the new zone where the Nerubians, the cousins of the mantid, are, is literally right off the coast from mantid territory. Xal'Atath already went back in time in 10.1.5 and successfully picked up the essence of Galakrond, aka the essence of the old god Yogg-Saron. So is she now going to Pandaria to claim the heart of SHAARJ, yet another old god, so that she can finalize the awakening? What is all this new info? What is this Dark Heart we're dealing with in 10.2.7? If you guys want to buy Total War, Elder Scrolls, or any other game, you can get them at great prices with my Gamivo link. You can also get anything Warcraft related, gift cards and software, and all below market prices. Best of all, if you add my code DORON, you can get an even bigger discount, so make sure to check out my link in the description and get some amazing deals with Gamivo. I'm excited to say that the time of content routes may just be over, that all of you guys that played WoW for a while remember. I mean, previously we would have like this 9-month wait and literally nothing would be happening. We would just be twiddling our thumbs and just waiting for the next expansion pre-patch. But Blizzard has literally just gone crazy with the content cadence. I mean, we're getting the War Within release late summer, so probably August or September. 10.2.5 and Gilneas Reclamation will be out in just a bit. Then we're getting this mysterious pirate patch that literally doesn't have information, so we have to obviously wait and see what that is. Even more interestingly, Season 4 is happening between 10.2.6 and 10.2.7, so it is not the sole content that people expected it was going to be. However, the focal point and the most interesting thing out of all this new information is the 10.2.7, which is called the Dark Heart, and so far it seems incredibly interesting because this would be like the last bit of Dragonflight storyline, and based on what it implies, this is going to be like the pre-patch, so it will involve Xal'Atath, all that stuff, we'll wrap up all this dragon stuff, and then we're going to go into Khaz'Algar, the War Within, and see what is really going on. Obviously, I mean, as this was just released, the information is lackluster, but that is not to say we don't actually have a ton of information we can tie this with, because this has obviously been foreshadowed for a while. So Troll and Dranic Heritage will be happening in this patch as well, I'm guessing involving Vol'jin, but I think all of this is unrelated to the main storyline. The real deal, there is going to be this Pandemonium stuff and the Harbinger quest. I mean, this is no longer speculation. Harbinger is 100% Xal'Atath, and we are getting quests involving the Harbinger in 10.2.7. However, the first thing is even more interesting. So people were talking, you know, Blizzard misspelled the Pandemonium because Pandemonium means chaos, but this is obviously referring to Pandaria and the Pandaren in this context. I mean, it is obviously misspelled on purpose. The other thing they announced is time running thing, which no one really knows what this is exactly. I mean, time walking has been a thing for quite a while, but time running is brand new. If they're doing a play on words with the walking and running, this might be some time-based challenge, adding new gameplay elements, but it could also include time travel like back in 10.1.5. Just take a few things into consideration and you will see that this might be the biggest setup for what is to come in the next expansion. The key point here is that the patch is called the Dark Heart, and this 100% refers to the document we got early in Dragonflight called A Song of the Dead that was setting up Azshara, Xal'Atath the Harbinger, and essentially the entire plot of Dragonflight and the War Within. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the details, but just look at one single line. After all is done, aka Galakrond doing his thing, the children of the first Flash returning, most likely the nerubians, a dark heart left broken then awaits the taking, and when all is complete, the Harbinger will complete the awakening. Now, personally, I'm almost certain that the first and the second feature, the Pandemonium and the Harbinger quests, are connected. I mean, I doubt they would just randomly pop us back to Pandaria out of all the continents and content we could do and have us do these Harbinger quests on the Dragon Isles, and that is because they had already set this up with the new Pandaria book that came out about 2 months ago. I got a whole video on that if you want more details on all the lore updates on Pandaria, but let me just tell you the biggest hint. The mantid, aka the cousins of the Nerubians, have returned back to worshipping SHAARJ. This was hinted at in the book. Do you know what is specific about SHAARJ in Pandaria? The fact that his dark heart was chilling in Pandaria, and that is exactly what created the trouble throughout all the history, and it was actually referred to as the dark heart of Pandaria. Now, let me just give you another interesting hint. The mantid, Old God Zone, is all the way on the western part of Pandaria, and the new zone, aka Khaz'Algar, is located right off this coast. Nerubians live here, mantid live next door. Both places involve Old God corruption. Another interesting fact is that Blizzard told us the Nerubians there are dealing with Old God blood together with Xal'Atath, and there is obvious Old God corruption all over Khaz'Algar. Another bit of a crazy but maybe irrelevant fact is that when Garrosh absorbed the powers of SHAARJ, his ex, Gorhal, was named Xal'Atath, which is oddly too similar to Xal'Atath. I mean, just saying, it's probably not related, but it does seem interesting. But let me most importantly tell you how all of this makes sense. So, I made this theory that Khaz'Algar is actually the creator of the new Eluna here, the ancient world tree they just came up with that was apparently ripped out by Amatul. You can check out the entire theory for more detail, but there are a ton of hints. Most importantly, the presence of roots at the lowest, most Nerubian layer of Khaz'Algar. However, what is relevant to this is that Eonar and Elune planted this upon the biggest concentration of Old God corruption in order to attempt to heal the land. Seeing that the heart actually fell in Pandaria and created a whole Shah mess that has been going on for thousands of years, let's just say it's not that outlandish to guess that something else of SHAARJ might have fallen literally right off the coast of Pandaria in Khaz'Algar, where we're going next. Now let's go back to 10.2.7 and how that leads us into what we are doing. So two popular raids from Myths of Pandaria, the Throne of Thunder and Siege of Orgrimmar, involved the Keeper Ra, the Titan Keeper, and the Heart of SHAARJ, which could be this new version of time walking, but personally I think the time running involves actual time travel. I don't think the Heart is still in Pandaria in the current timeline, but it is almost certainly in the past one. Remember, Galakrond together with Xal'Atath went back to ancient history to reclaim the essence of Galakrond, which we know is in turn the essence of Yogg-Saron, and they did it successfully because Xal'Atath obviously has the artifact in the trailer filled with Galakrond's essence. Is she now going for the Dark Heart and try to get the essence of SHAARJ next so that she can start the whole process in the War Within? Personally, I think it is very likely. Now, this document talked about the children of the First Flesh. I previously stated that the children of the First Flesh are the Nerubians, but they could be referring to both the Mantid and the Nerubians, as, remember, they are the exact same race. It's like the Tauren and the Tonka, just different variations. She may be trying to also recruit the Mantid to help her get this heart before she then goes and makes a pact with the Nerubians. Blizzard obviously stated that Xal'Atath is messing with actual Old God blood in the War Within, and, you know, what does the heart actually do? It pumps blood. This could mean she may be trying to connect the heart to the blood in some crazy ritual, or she may have gotten the blood from the heart that she will take from this time travel scenario. Of course, it is a little bit too early to say anything for certain, but this patch is going to come out in probably like April, so we're going to learn real quick what is actually going to happen. However, the Pirate Mysterious patch 10.2.6 may even be a setup for this, as if this really involves pirates, it might be a hint for Ashara and the Naga returning, which by all accounts seem to be working together with Xal'Atath. Of course, it's possible that the Dark Heart may just be referring to Azeroth and the entire whispers from the past, you know, the heart is a crater, we have filled it, and this could be referring to the entire World Soul thing. However, based on that we randomly got Mantid hints tying them to SHAARJ and big lore updates to Pandaria 2 months ago, based on the patch referring to Pandemonium, based on the entire storyline of Pandaria is literally all about the heart of SHAARJ, and it was even referred to as the Dark Heart of Pandaria in an actual scenario, I'm almost certain we are going to Pandaria in 10.2.7. We had already seen Iridikon and Xal'Atath getting the essence of one old god from a time travel scenario, and now we're getting this time running thing. She may be trying to collect all the old god Pokemons for her plans, and all of this seems like a huge setup for the War Within, aka the pre-patch. Thank you for watching. Check out what is the next class we may be getting in the World Soul Saga by clicking on the screen, and check out my video on ancient Greek colonies in Spain by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time.